You're crossing the street when you hear the loud screech of car tires behind you. In the space of just milliseconds, your heart rate spikes, your adrenaline surges, and you whip around to see if the car is coming toward you. Amazingly, this happens entirely outside of your awareness. Your body responds before you have time to think. And this is for a really good reason. The extra second it would take to ask yourself, what should I do? Could be the difference between life and death. This is the stress response, also known as fight, flight, freeze. These are the three ways we instinctively respond when our brains sense danger. In this video, I'll teach you more about this response, why it's relevant to everyday life, and how you can control it. Okay, so you've turned around to see the car, and you see the screech was just a car doing donuts in a parking lot. You weren't actually in danger, but imagine if the car had been right behind you. The stress response could have saved your life. Well, despite there being no real danger, you're still left with the after effects of stress. They can take 30 minutes or more for your body to finally settle back down. To illustrate what this looks like, take a look at this graph. When you first hear the screeching tires, your body immediately kicks into high gear. When you turn around and see there's no danger, your body begins to calm down. But that process takes a long time. We inherited fight, flight, freeze from our ancestors, who needed it to survive attacks from predators and lots of other physical dangers. It was better for the alarm to be too sensitive rather than overlook even one real threat, because it only takes a single tiger to run your life. In modern times, the stress response is like an annoyingly sensitive smoke alarm. It might save your life if there's a fire, but it also goes off every time someone lights a candle. Another frustration is that fight, flight, freeze is better suited to physical threats. Many modern sources of stress, like taking a test or getting into an argument, just don't benefit from pumping adrenaline and a thumping heartbeat. So, how do the automatic reactions of fight, flight, freeze play out in the sort of day-to-day situations that we actually face? Well, fight. Instead of attacking a predator, you might get ready to fight another person, but more often, you get into an argument or become defensive. Or say someone cuts you off in traffic, you might speed after them, honk, or tailgate. Flight. Instead of physically running away, you're more likely to avoid going somewhere or doing something that makes you feel nervous. For example, if you're afraid of flying on an airplane, you might avoid traveling, even if you really want to. Or you might avoid your anxious feelings, maybe by using drugs or alcohol. A common example is drinking at a party to get over nerves and to become more social. Freeze. Instead of playing dead, as you might have done with a predator, you mentally check out of a situation, or you shut down. For example, you sit down to take an exam, and your mind goes blank. You can't remember anything you studied. As you can see, fight, flight, freeze pops up in many different situations, but it isn't always so straightforward. Something as simple as an argument could trigger any of these responses, or a combination of them. So imagine you're talking with a friend and a touchy subject comes up. Your friend starts to raise their voice, and you feel your stress response start up like that. Just like when you heard the screeching tires of a car, your heart rate elevates and you feel a rush of adrenaline. Here's what happens. Fight, your jaw clenches, your face turns red, and you start to raise your own voice and argue right back. Flight, you feel your heart fluttering, you get nervous, your hands might be a little shaky. You try to change the subject, or you make an excuse to leave. And freeze. Your mind just goes blank. You feel checked out and you shut down. You stop responding until your friend gets it all out and moves on to a new topic. All right, so what happens after that initial spike of anxiety? Well, now it's up to you. After that initial automatic reaction, you have a moment where you can stop and ask yourself what you'd like to do next. But oftentimes we miss that window and our bodies go into a sort of autopilot. If you're in an argument, you just keep arguing and arguing. If you're anxious at a party, you head for the door and you go back home. But here's the thing. After that initial spike of anxiety that's out of our control, you don't have to continue fueling that reactivity. You can pause, think, and take back control. If you're in an argument, you can stop to ask yourself if it's really worth it. If you're anxious at a party, you can choose to face your fear and stick it out. I call this the power of the pause. This is your chance to stop and reflect on the situation. It seems like a small thing, but it's actually really powerful. Think about what happens after the pause. You can stop arguing, lower your voice, and work on repairing the relationship instead of further harming it. You can stay at the party. Maybe you meet some new people who change your life. You can face your fear of flying and take a vacation you've always dreamed of. The stress response is a really important way that your body protects itself from danger, but sometimes it overreacts. You can learn to notice when this is happening so you can intervene and you can make the choices that are actually best for you.